The first pro with the 2024 Ford Bronco is going to be the way that it looks. Everyone is snapping their necks to look at this vehicle, especially with the Sasquatch package. Now, regardless though, even without the Sasquatch, I do like the way the Bronco looks. It's got so much swagger and presence out of the road. So that's going to be the first pro for me. Now, obviously, that's going to be subjective. I do still think the Wrangler looks good, and the 4Runner, which I personally own, I think that looks good as well, but I just think the Bronco edges it out just a bit. But the next real practical pro is going to be the way the Bronco drives. Even with this big heavy Sasquatch package with the massive 35-inch mud terrain tires that are 315 wide, the Bronco handles exceptionally well. It does a great job in containing the body roll and the body lean to the point where your occupants, they're not flipping over on top of each other. The stability out on the highway is decent. I mean, all of your practical handling needs are great. It's also easy to place this vehicle out on the road, especially when you have all of the mirrors set correctly. And the drivetrain also adds a lot of confidence because we have here just the base 4-cylinder turbocharged engine with 300 horsepower, 325 pound-feet of torque, made it to the 10-speed automatic. This is a flawless drivetrain. It's quick, it's brisk around town, and there's no lag when you step on it. And even out on the highway when you peg it, this thing continues to pull. So that is really impressive. This base 4-cylinder is hauling this massive Bronco around effortlessly. Now, a con with this engine is going to be the real world fuel economy isn't really that great. I mean, it's rated to get like 18 city, 18 highway, and that drops even further depending on the trim level that you get. So you're really getting like 16, 17, and that's literally V8 levels of fuel economy. Granted, we do have V8 levels of power and thrust, but you know, you get a 4-cylinder, you want better fuel economy, and you're simply not going to get that because it's also physics, right? We have a massive, heavy block of an SUV, so you're going to get that natural wind resistance, and you have all that weight that you're lugging around. So yeah, fuel economy not the best, but that aside, I do love the way that this engine sounds. It does have an organic, immersive quality to it, similar to the drive. All right, moving on, let's talk about this interior space. This is a big pro for me because it's solid, it's well built, it's ergonomic. I will say some people have had creaks and rattles, but I have never had that issue with any of these new Fords that I've tested. I've also had another Bronco Outer Banks that I did a review on in the past. That was solid. And same thing with these smaller Fords as well, like the Bronco Sport, the Mavericks. They've all had solid interior spaces. In fact, this reminds me of the old school Toyota interiors where they are durable, rigid, solid, all of that. So that's great. And we also have physical buttons and switches for your HVAC and your volume. The 12-inch infotainment screen, that's now standard for 2024. The seats are exceptionally comfortable. The gauge cluster shows you some good information. That's easy to use. We have your wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. You have great seating space in the back. You have plenty of headroom. I am 5'11". I can easily sit behind myself. The trunk space is good. So the interior is a big pro for me. But a con is going to be whenever I have this vehicle parked and I get out of this SUV to, you know, check the mail and I have the keys in my pocket. Once I shut the door, this thing honks the horn at me twice, and it's so loud, it's so obnoxious. I hate the way Ford has that programmed and tuned. A simple chime or a simple beeping noise would have sufficed. I have no idea why this vehicle has to honk its horn at me twice. That's a con, but that's a simple software fix, and I hope Ford does fix it. Another con, which, I mean, it's obvious, you know what you're buying into when you get a Ford Bronco. You're obviously not purchasing a Rolls-Royce Cullinan here, but it's the fact that you have more tire noise and wind noise. But again, it's an off-road vehicle with removable panels, removable doors. You know what you're buying into. But on the contrary though, the wind noise, the tire noise, it's not like ridiculous in any way. It's pretty well contained for the most part. I mean, we even have here massive mud terrain tires, but the tire noise isn't completely obnoxious. You can certainly tolerate this. So that's what I'm saying. If you just go with a Outer Banks model without the Sasquatch package with regular tires, it's going to be even more refined. And if you add on the Luxe package with the Outer Banks, you actually get additional sound deadening materials according to Ford, all right? But one con I've noticed with the hardtop versions of the Bronco, I mean, don't get me wrong, I do like the hardtop. I like the way it looks. I think it really completes the Bronco, but I've noticed that you get a lot of heat coming through the roof of the Bronco with the hardtop. I didn't really notice this with the soft top as much, so it's just something to watch out for. If you're parking this outside and not inside of a garage, you're going to notice some heat coming through the top. The final big pro I'm going to mention is the crash test safety of these new Broncos. It's leaps and bounds ahead of the Jeep Wrangler and the Toyota 4Runner. So according to IIHS, you can see their full testing results, but it's really good, and you can be rest assured that your family is going to be safe inside of the Bronco. And the little Bronco Sport is actually an IIHS top safety pick, so well done there. And the final point I'm going to mention is the fact that you can get amazing deals with the 2023 Broncos. I'm going to have a free leasing calculator provided to you by AutoCompanion, linked in the description box below, because you can actually lease a 2023 full-size Bronco for like the $500 a month range, with taxes and fees included. So use that calculator. It shows you the residual values, the interest rate of a lease, and the incentives that you can qualify for in your local area. It's a powerful negotiating tool right there, and Ford is really trying to clear out their inventory of 2023 Broncos, so take advantage of it while you can and while there is still lease support available. But hopefully this video and this content has been valuable to you. If it is, make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this video. Take care and goodbye.